All right, everyone, it's 10:31. We're going to get started. Congrats for making it to the last day of TechNet Cyber. I think it's been a great conference.
And you made it here.
Yes, thanks for joining us. So I'm Kelly Miller. I run our defense agencies portfolio here at Mantech International. We're delighted to sponsor this theater and this next session. So I'm going to introduce the moderator of the panel. We're going to be talking about Stratus, very exciting topic. The next moderator is going to be Ms. King Lingefelt. She is our Stratus program manager for the DISA hack. She has supported DISA for 26 years, managing large IT efforts, always including cloud services. She champions DoD private cloud to provide options to mission partners. And previously, she served as the DoD Special Access Programs product owner. She's going to announce the rest of the panel, but please join me in welcoming Kim Lingefelt.
All right. Thank you for making it till the end and coming to hear our Stratus presentation. Again, I'm Kim Lingefelt. I'm the current Stratus PM. And with me today, I have Faith Perry, who is our business lead for Stratus. And I have Brett White, who is one of our senior tech advisors. So the three of us today, we're going to, and feel free to ask questions. We don't have a gigantic crowd, but we will also open it up for questions at the end. But we're going to provide you today an overview of what Stratus is, our private cloud offering from DISA. We're going to also introduce you to some of the services that are available to you if you choose to host it with this Stratus. So before I kick off the presentation, Stratus is supporting the goals of DISA's goal for driving IT innovation with our private cloud solution. So first of all, we do have automation and orchestration so we can quickly provision your environment. So we are able to get it out with a reduced time, right? Reduced time to delivery. Everybody wants it as fast as they can. So on the NIPR side, that's within minutes and hours of getting your funding in place. On the SIPRNet side, we're talking within 1 to 2 days that you will have access to your environment. We also offer a number of cloud capabilities that we're going to go over in detail during the presentation. Most importantly, everybody has these small budgets this year. Funding is hard to get. We try very hard to reduce operational costs. So we do have, today on our NIPRNet side, soon on our SIPR, we do offer you pay only what you use, similar to commercial cloud. So that is available now on the NIPRNet side of Stratus. But most importantly, Stratus is here to stay. And we are continuing to offer new enhancements and capabilities. We want to, at a minimum, meet what the expectations are of mission partners, but we're looking to exceed those expectations. And we're partnering with our VMware vendors to try to offer some of those PaaS services through Stratus. So you will see as we continue to grow, providing new capabilities to our mission partners. Also, Stratus is provided to you by our DISA's Hosting and Compute Center. So Stratus is one of the hosting options available in our hack portfolio. Hopefully, many of you went to hear some of the other theater presentations. JWCC can get you to commercial cloud. Stratus is your private cloud. Our hybrid cloud centers can support kind of your dedicated hosting kind of requirements, as well as mainframe kind of requirements, and then a number of services. So Stratus absolutely supports and pursues the hack mission with providing the warfighter with the best value hosting and compute solutions to achieve mission success. So let's get into Stratus. So as I said, Stratus is our private cloud. We have it designed to provide optionality to our mission partners. It's there to support mission-critical warfighter applications. It also provides a multi-tenant capability through our compute, storage, and network infrastructure. Stratus delivers rapid elasticity and resource pooling and a broad network access, right, through self-service on-demand portal. So I talked a lot, I said we're going to talk about our capabilities. I'm not going to go into them much because Brett is going to give you a full description of them. We are also going to talk to you about the number of the services that are offered through the hack as well as through DISA to support your hosting needs there. Stratus is hosted currently at 2 of our CONUS locations, so we have it in our Oklahoma City and our Montgomery data centers. It is also can support workloads at the IL2 to the IL6 levels. So we have Stratus available to you at both of those data centers at NIPRNet and SIPRNet levels. We are accredited through an RMF ATO package, so we provide inheritable controls to our mission partners that want to host with us. We also leverage DoD secure authentication to provide the administrative access to your VMs when you're hosting in Stratus. The self-service portal. So when you go to stratus.mil, you can go there, you can do quick estimates, you can place your order online, you can provide your funding, and it's also the pathway to getting to where you would manage and sustain your VM environment within Stratus. And just to do a quick estimate, you just need your CPU, RAM, and storage requirements, and change those up. It gives you different values, and that's gonna give you that total cost of what we would then allocate to your environment. That doesn't mean you have to use that all, but that would be what we would allocate. And they will both go give more details on that. As far as what we support, Stratus is set up that we can, if you need to do a proof of concept and stand something up pretty quick and shut it down, if you need a dev environment or a test environment that you're looking for, Stratus can support that, all the way to fully redundant, high availability applications for the warfighter. Stratus is set up to support all those different scenarios that you might have for hosting requirements. We do have the capability of providing, I should say, for supporting the mission partners to set up the continuity of operations like a COOP scenario. It is not a service that's, click the box, offered right out of the box right now, but we do have a number of mission partners that have COOP set up between our two data centers, and we do have SMEs that can support our mission partners in setting that COOP requirement up. Probably lastly, Stratus is a great place to start your cloud journey. If you have an application that's very transaction heavy, maybe you have sensitive data that you don't feel comfortable yet putting into commercial cloud, Stratus is a solution for that. Number one, we do not charge any ingress or egress fees, so any of those IO fees that you would see sometimes in commercial cloud. And some of our old DoD systems and applications aren't quite, a lot of them also have those transactions now built in. We also don't charge any throttling fees. So it is a great place to start. It's also, and hopefully you've learned from either visiting the booth or hearing the other presentations, this is one of the options to our mission partners if you're trying to build like a hybrid solution. So you could put your sensitive data requirements or your applications that, like I say, aren't quite ready for the ingress and egress fees, put that into Stratus. You could leverage JWCC for your commercial cloud requirements. So the hat goal is to support all those hybrid scenarios, as well as like if we need a dedicated host that you put on our hybrid data center side. The goal is that we're going to try to support all of those hosting requirements, and Stratus is the solution for your private cloud side. So on the right side of the slide there, it's just a quick, I'm not going to go into detail, but that shows you kind of our compute storage and network resources that we have available inside of our fully virtualized environment. So it shows our minimum VM there. We do support the x86 operating environments. We do VM level backups. Brett's going to go into much more detail on that. We do have a public catalog for both Microsoft Windows as well as for Red Hat's Enterprise Linux available to all of our mission partners. And we do leverage VMware's VCD portal for managing your VM and doing your configurations of your networks. So it's all automated, built in there. So if you're familiar with VCD, you're going to be familiar with how you're managing your VMs in Stratus. Okay, so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Brett to start with the next discussion. And if you guys have questions, you can either save them to the end, or like I say, feel free to make it conversational.
Now in control of the red dot. So once again, thank you for coming over here, especially on the last day of the convention here. But glad to be able to have you learn about the IaaS capabilities of Stratus. So our cloud services marketplace portal is really stratus.mil, and so that's where we manage oversight of all of our services. So the main service being infrastructure as a service. So that's really the core of us, and then we have other options that add on to that. But when you stand up a Stratus environment, we have all of the firewall proxy services. It's all up on our portal, so if you need to open any of the ports, protocols, or services, you can go through our portal and request those to be open. It does come into the consideration of your accreditation, whether or not you have that production interface open or not. The managed VPN service, we have a dedicated VPN so that you can come from off-site. So if your corporate office, you have a DoD CAC, you can come up onto our Stratus VPN, enter your environment, and manage that as you would from anywhere else. Load balancing is included within the vCloud Director itself, so you can manage all of your load balancing requirements from that. We also have the capability of using our F5 at the front door. So if you need more robust capabilities, you can use our facility assets as well to be able to manage your application. Also goes along with that failover coop scenario, so we can help assist with those type scenarios. Backup and recovery services are included with our base operating model. So every weekend we do full backups of the entire environment. We do nightly deltas. We keep 2 weeks on site, we keep 2 weeks off site, so you have 4 weeks worth of backups for your environment included with that base cost. So it's a little bit different from the commercial model. So if something blew up 3 weeks ago, we would restore the main backup, restore the snapshots, and it'll be back up and running again. The API interface is allowing external connectivity into that environment. So depending upon what the mission partners want to automate, it is open up to the vCloud Director API interface. The repository we have, as Kim stated, the Windows and Linux enterprise versions of both of those. So we have Red Hat 7 and 8, we have Windows 1619, we're working on the 22 version. I think they're getting the final STIG settings ready to be available on that. So those are enterprise licenses. You can use one for every server that you stand up, so it's included. It's a VMware x86 based operating system. So you can stand up a server with our images, you can upload your own images. So whether it's a Windows or a Ubuntu, a virtual load balancer appliance, if it's something the latest, greatest, one of our vendors here have, and they say, hey, it'll run great in the DoD, you can bring up a Stratus environment, upload it with an OVA ISO, and say, yep, there it is. So that could go into your private catalog, and it can run anything that you need to in that initial development environment. Access to the vendor site, we have outbound access to IBM, Oracle. There's about 25, 30 different sites out there that you can go out and get your IAVAs and patches for. You do not have to have an accredited environment to get that outbound access, so you're able to keep your environment secure. Large file transfer service is how you can actually bring in your files with a SFTP type connection. So if you have a terabyte worth of data and you want to import that, we have that service available, as well as the mail relay. So if you have a mail system that you want to bring into it, we have the SMTP and those type of functionalities included with that base service. Once again, we're basically infrastructure as a service as our core. So with this base model, we have the data center, the gateway router, all of that underlying infrastructure is maintained by us at the 2 different sites. Everything from the virtual network saying, hey, I need a server this big, this much storage, all of that is managed by the mission partner. They can start it, stop it, add, delete edge gateway network connections to and from it. So they have full capabilities within that infrastructure as a service environment. NIPRNet, SIPRNet, we're actually underneath the ICAP, which means that we do not do the BCAP part. So SNAP and all that is working with the JWCC, with AWS, and the other commercial clouds out there. We use the IATT, ATO type process, so the mission partner provides their own accreditation to be able to enable outward production capability. Tier 1 storage. So we have solid state disk for all of our primary storage. It is extremely robust, fast, network capable systems. As Kim stated, we do not throttle it. So it typically runs anywhere from 12 to 20K IOPS, somewhere around in there. Very fast, speedy, works really well. We also have tier 2 storage, which is a slower, they're spinning disks. Once again, very robust. We have really big banks of storage. It works really well, but it is slower. So any of your archive, data repository type data is able to go into that tier 2 storage. It's also where you can set your snapshots to go into. Say, hey, I'm going to do a build tonight. You take a snapshot, it goes into your tier 2 storage. If things go well, you say, okay, let me delete it. If things don't go so well, you rebuild your server and try again. We also have S3 compatible type object storage. So if you have a repository that you need a lot of one in, lot out, lot in, one out, we do have the S3 type storage. Once again, you can use it for archive, long-term, any other type of storage requirements that you need S3 for. And the always interesting part of DoD accreditation. So the standard model typically used by most of our mission partners to have the Army, Navy, Air Force, whomever it may be, they use their internal accreditation processes using our underlying inherited controls that we provide. So we're on the DoD base, we have the gates, guards, guns, air conditioning, all of those facility controls that will import through your EMAS system. And that is with the infrastructure as a service as a basic. We also have additional services that will increase some of those inherited controls that you get if you start using our Plus services, our CSSP services. A lot of those will increase some of those inherited controls. So the basic is that if you have a new development environment, you're able to load your application, run your application, but the production interface is closed off. It's a standard development environment. You do need to have an interim authority to test or better to be able to open up that production interface. So if your customers are coming in through a web connection, 443, 80, however you decide it, it does have to have that type of accreditation, and we run that with your dates of that accreditation. So let's say you have an IATO, it's good for 60 days, your front door connection is good for 30 days. If it's an ATO and it's good for 3 years, and it was today, you'd have 3 years from today to update that next authority to stay connected. With the certificate of risk acceptance, this is a transfer of accountability and responsibility from our DISA AO to your mission partners AO. So they are taking over the accountability and responsibility to accredit it as it is going to and from the NIPR or CIPRNet. So that means there's a 2-page document. The mission partner will then do their accreditation, maintain their accreditation, and this core will stay there for the lifetime of that environment. So it is up to their cyber team to ensure that they stay accredited with the SRG and all of their DoD requirements for that connection. So it's a very powerful document, meaning that you do not have to keep updating it on 60 days, 90 days in another spot. However, we will take any type of IATT or better, which is the standard for most of our DoD environment. And this is where I hand it off to Faith as our business management, and she does all the financing side. So it's all yours.
Thanks. As Brett said, my name is Faith Perry. I'm from the business side right now. So I wanted to talk about the rates. So Kim said we tried very hard to be competitive with the commercial providers. So DISA had took that very seriously and lowered the price on so many of our offerings. So again, it's a hourly billing for CPU and memory. It's daily billing for the storage. So if you power down your server, you're not going to be billed for CPU or memory, but your storage is still going to be active, okay? So unless you delete it, that storage is in use and being billed. So we have primary storage, the backup storage, that the tier 2, and the object storage. So backup storage is built in. If you've got anything on tier 1, it's automatically going to be in there. You can do exclusions. We do have mission partners who say these sets of servers or storage policies in using BCD. You know, you can turn that and apply a different policy if you want to exclude those from the backup. But the backup is built in. It's out of the box. And tier 2, that's also can be included in backup or excluded, as the case may be. And then the object storage, which is very cost effective. That includes replication at the secondary site at that cost. So we put in here an example. So if you have two CPU servers for 1 month with 4 gigabytes of memory and 100 gig of primary tier 2, you're usually going to have 200 if you're running Windows at a minimum just for the OS. 24/7 for 30 days, $131. Not bad. That's pretty cost effective. And as Kim said, right now it's on NIPR only for the metered billing, but we're standing up that capability now for SIPR, so it'll be ready to go for fiscal year 24. So we're seeing about an average between, say, a fully allocated SIPR side, which is billing as at the allocation ceiling, as opposed to the metered billing, about a 30% reduction overall. In some cases, it's 70% reduction, depending upon what that application is doing at that time. So you want to be, mindful to optimize those resources. I also going to talk about the additional cloud service offerings. As Brett said, we call it the cloud software marketplace. So all the DISA cloud-related services, not all, but a lot of them are coming through our portal now. So we have engineering services, and as Kim said, like these specialists, these cloud SMEs can help you stand up a COOP solution or implement that solution if you need that, or any other type of thing, whether that's getting your accreditation paperwork done, any sort of service that you need. And right now this is for Stratus, but we're looking to offer that for the JWCC as well. So that's coming too. Okay, and they're hourly packages. So you get up to 8, 16, or 40, and you consume them as you wish, as you need over time. And then you can buy another one if you're done. So we've had quite a few mission partners who saved a lot of money doing that metered billing that they didn't expect, and then say, hey, I can use some help doing this. So take advantage of that. We also have logging services. So Brett talked about the F5 on the front door, right? Or your F5 in your virtual environment, and you can do logging, Splunk, on there if you need that capability as well. You also have Cloud Plus. I think it's going to be called Hacker Pro soon. So they'll be changing that name, but that's where they are the hands on the keyboard. So, evaluate your staff and your capability, your funding. Do you have this expertise to manage that environment? So with the Plus services, you have the SAs, hands-on keyboard, or DISA. That also means you're going to get a lot more inheritance control in your package because they are the hands-on keyboard. So we're securing it, we're stigging, we're patching, we're doing all of that for you. Okay, so that's in the Stratus private cloud. It also includes, you can get database admin, web admin, application admin, so they can actually patch and stig those for you as well. That does mean that you're not going to be hands-on keyboard, right? Because you're turning that control over to them. So again, you want to evaluate what level of control do you need for your environment. If you're development, typically you're not going to do a Plus service because you're in there all the time, need to do your things. But you can do that. And it does come with up to 24/7. We usually operate with a 2-hour window. If that's not good enough for you, you can also increase that capability, get the 24/7 support as well. We also offer DISA Cloud Advanced CSSP services. So if you want to take advantage of that it's pretty seamless. Once you've gotten your Dipper package in, they can start helping you. They usually on board within a day or two, especially on the Plus side, because they're doing all the vulnerability scans. That's built in with that as well. And VMS, if you're not doing Plus, you can get VMS directly. So that's the endpoint security solutions and ACAS if you need that. Okay. And so that portal page, you have all of those objects there that you can pick. Notice that there's object storage, there's dedicated host, which will require a traditional service request form to get that pricing, but it does allow you to get on the pathway. Okay.
All right. We got our best for last. So what's coming soon? So, DISA has heard the mission partners. We have these OCONUS hosting requirements. So Stratus is one part of the DISA strategy. So our first implementation, we're calling it our IL6 OCONUS region beta for Stratus. So we are standing up an IL6 level Stratus environment at our Florida Island data center focused in the Indo-PACOM AOR. The goal is to have that available for workloads to onboard. We're targeting early July, right? Starting fourth quarter. Now, I will also say, you did hear Faith say, when we first turn it on, that last quarter of FY24, it is going to be under an allocation billing model. So whatever you order is what you're going to pay for. Starting October 1st, when we move into FY24, and we push out the utility billing like we have today on NIPRNet, so starting October 1st, you will then be only paying for what you use, both at Fort Island and at the other SIPRNet sites there. So Fort Island is getting built. It's going to be the same parity as what we have today in our CONUS sites at Montgomery and OKC. So it can support, again, those dev environments, test environments, up to a full production system there. Rates, we're keeping the rates the same. We're trying to keep it easy. Makes it harder. But it'll be the same rate for OCONUS as it is for CONUS today. So the same rates that you saw Faith provide to you. It'll be still RMF ATO package, so still inheritable controls. Same as what we do today in CONUS for the mission partners to inherit the controls from us. I will say we are working capital. Well, first, we're looking for mission partners that would like to come on and support, that have those requirements to come and host, like in the Indo-PACOM area. We're also very interested in hearing from mission partners. We've had a lot of people saying, well, what's next? Where are you going to next? As you can see, we are funded through Working Capital Fund. So we're going to go where the demand is at. So we don't know right now where will be the next site that we go for OCONUS. We've had engagements with AFRICOM, UCOM, a number of different entities. We're really looking for who has workloads that are ready kind of immediately off the charts to start with immediately to host. So I did want to shout that out, that we are looking at engaging there. And I'm going to go to the next slide. So again, to learn more about Stratus, to talk to us about your OCONUS requirements, if you want a technical deep dive with some of our SMEs, the QR code, or go to our hack.mil site and do the contact us for and select Stratus. Our hybrid cloud office will coordinate a meeting with you. If you just want to learn more about Stratus, we talked about the portal. Go to stratus.mil. It does require a CAC card. So the first time you go, it's going to ask you for a little bit of information. It's going to collect your CAC information. But the next time you go, you're just going to enter your PIN. But on the hack.mil site, you can get your estimates if you want to just run queries to figure out how much it's going to cost. If you're looking for lots of information, our document repo that's available on stratus.mil, it's a wealth of information. You can see the inheritable controls. It tells you, we have quick slick sheets on how to request firewalls, how to set up your VCD, like all of that is there. So if you want to kind of do research on your own, again, go visit the stratus.mil site. Okay, I think with that, we are open to any questions that anyone might have. And we're so thankful that you guys stayed around for us on this final day of this exciting conference. Are there any questions? Okay.
Who are your cybersecurity providers? Is that a service that you host? Sorry, I wasn't clear.
Yeah, DISA
It's
offers
DISA.
it. So our cybersecurity team, C2,
Gotcha.
does that.
Yeah.
But you
For
can bring
us
your own.
and for mission partners.
Yeah, we pay them to be our CSSP. You can pay them to be your CSSP.
Right.
But you can bring your own. So we have customers who have Don or who have C5, ISR,
Yeah.
Army.
You can also procure the CSSP for any of the JWCC contracts as well.
Right.
So it's not just for DISA, it's also for AWS and other areas that are out there on the commercial side.
Yeah, and the mission partners that we do have hybrid, so they have some things traditionally hosted in a data center, and the CSSP is servicing both of them. They're little different packages, so they have the cloud advanced for the on-prem, private, or off-prem. Any other questions?
All right. We are still here around, and actually Faith and I will be at the booth at 12:30, but we're here if you guys want to come up and talk to, have any other questions.
And
I'm happy to talk to you about any of
we're
that.
happy to demo it too from our own laptops. We can't do that from up here, but
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
fun to see live.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it.
The
Thank you.
DISA booth is right over there.
Right,
And
2900.
highly encourage you to come on by and ask any questions. We're around, so thank you for
And we'll
coming.
hang here. Yeah. Too much. You got to use that filter.
Do you have?
But
we can
we'll
send
email
it
it
to
to
you
you.
if you can give.
Yeah. No, I'll get it.
Get his card. Yeah, if we can get your card, we can send
Actually,
it to
do you want to talk now? I know we wanted to talk after.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, we can have that conversation.